know that your baby boy would one day walk on water? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would save our sons and daughters? Did you know that your baby boy has come to make you new? And this child that you delivered will soon deliver you. Mary, did you know that your baby boy would give sight to the blind man? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would calm the storm with his hand? Did you know that your baby boy has walked where angels try? And when you kiss your little baby, you kiss the face of God. Oh, Mary, did you know? Mary, did you know? The blind will see, the deaf will hear, the dead will live again. The lame will leap, the dumb will speak, the praises of the Lamb. Mary, did you know that your baby boy is Lord of all creation? Mary, did you know that your baby boy would one day rule the nations? Did you know that your baby boy is heaven's perfect lamb? And the sleeping child you're holding is the great I
Welcome to Radical Truth, the Power of Progressive News Show on SBS3. I am your host, Marlon, looking a lot better today than yesterday, along with Ada Hart, along with Thiz. And as you can see from the title, we're going to get an update on the suspect in the UnitedHealthcare CEO murder. Also, late-breaking news from this afternoon. The Syrian government has fallen because their dictator,
Assad has fled.
Assad has fled to Russia, seeking asylum. So we will get into a bit of that. Again, that is breaking news, so we don't have that much information on it. So we'll give you our thoughts on that. Also, the second hour, we do have an Am I the A-hole? No Mafia video of the week. We do have a positive story of the week, a real or not, and of course, Foxy's videos of the week. just to close out the weekend. The birthday girl at a heart. How are you doing today?
I'm doing good. My dog is upset that someone's coming in the driveway. Just had another really beautiful day. I'll hand it back to you and mute for a moment. Hang on.
Okay, how's everything going, Theus?
Everything's cool, man. I don't have anything to report.
Nothing new? You do nothing today?
No, not really. No.
Sometimes you need those type of days, man.
Parker definitely didn't need a day like today. Hey, what's good, Parker?
What's going on, man? Well, we ain't got nothing to do. Let's get this party started.
What you got?
I did absolutely nothing. I put the show together. Foxy went to see Wicked. She said it was good. She said the only issue that she had was it is a musical, so one is 2 hours and 40 minutes, so it's almost a 3-hour movie, and two, because of that, they were singing every 15 minutes. So it was her tolerance was falling. And she said other than that, it was a good movie. So I've been here since this morning by myself. She went to work out this morning, and she went straight there to drop food off to her dad, then went straight to the movies. So I just now seeing her like 6 o'clock. So just put the show together and stayed out of trouble. All I can do. Let's get this party started. Oh, Parker's coming in. Oh, that's cool. I love that movie. Okay. Me and Anna been sitting over here thinking of all the musicals I've seen, and we came up with 3.
I'm not a big musical guy.
I'm not a big musical person, but I saw 3, so that's good enough for me for the rest of my life. All right. The NYPD has released new photos of the suspect and new information, including a backpack that was found in a park nearby.
Good evening, everyone. I'm Tanya Rivero.
And I'm Joe Torres. We begin with breaking news in the hunt to find the shooter who murdered the UnitedHealthcare CEO. Less than 1 hour ago, police released these brand new images of the suspect.
This comes a day after searching sent the NYPD underwater. Earlier this afternoon, a police scuba team was spotted in Central Park searching the pond near Bethesda Fountain for clues to find the killer.
That area is not far from where investigators discovered a backpack believed to be the killer's. Tonight, we know exactly what police found inside of that backpack. Eyewitness News reporter Lucy Yang has the details.
NYPD divers went underwater Saturday searching for answers in the Central Park lake by the Bethesda Fountain.
The net is tightening, and we're going to bring this person to justice.
Early Wednesday morning, a killer opened fire in Midtown, targeting 50-year-old Brian Thompson, CEO of UnitedHealthcare. Police believe the gunman ditched his backpack near the bandstand in Central Park. We've learned there were clothes inside, including a Tommy Hilfiger coat seen in some of the surveillance video, and curiously, some Monopoly money. Police first had to make sure there were no explosives in the bag. Then they used an excavator to remove the backpack and some of the surrounding area in case there was extra DNA evidence on the ground. It's all now in a lab in Queens. UnitedHealthcare is one of the largest insurance companies in the country, raking in $281 billion last year. The CEO reportedly taking home more than $10 million last year. Following Thompson's assassination, there has been a loud outcry against the insurance company for putting profits before lives, for denying medical procedures. All this as police continue tracking every possible lead. No name yet on the suspect who may have taken a bus out of New York City.
We don't want to release that now. If you do, you're basically giving a tip to the person we're seeking, and we do not want to give him an upper hand at all. Let him continue to believe he could hide behind a mask.
Still no murder weapon nor motive. The FBI has now joined the manhunt. Lucy Yang, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
So I did double check before we came on the air. That is still the latest information that we got. Your thoughts, Sam?
Day 5, and he's still on the loose. I have heard so many different things that it's hard to know what is substantial good information. What I can speak to is the outcry of the people, especially those of us that have had violence directed towards us by way of policy. Like, everybody who is pushing back against tens of thousands, probably far more than that now, but people who were laughing in response to this, who had no sympathy, because this guy used an AI system that overwhelmingly put out denials for trying something in a new way. Medicine is always pushing the boundaries, and we're finding out that, like, for example, with one of my medications, its main use is to slow down the heart. It also slows down gut motility. Oh, no, sorry, just speeds it up, wrong way. And it stimulates the nerves. It relaxes your heart, and to me, I actually find that it works a bit against nausea. We don't know these things until we are gathering up information of, oh, hey, by the way, this happened, and maybe we should check that out more. But overwhelmingly, I mean, just this year, from March until July, was denied my migraine medication, and you guys saw me. It's been still extremely difficult to come back from that, from what it did to me cognitively. And these are people who are not doctors making decisions about my healthcare. That does not sit right. Extra doesn't sit right that it's going through some computer system that's designed to say no more often than it is to say yes. What is more cruel? A gunshot and assassination, or thousands upon thousands of people dying, average of every 7 minutes in the USA? because of not having enough insurance to cover what they need. And funny enough, like, I actually, right now, I have it pretty good. I have doctors who will fight for me. I have Medicaid in the state of Washington. For the most part, it works out greatly in my favor. But man, there are times that I am either so dismayed because how in the world did I get here with insurance? When I know that a procedure works, my doctor knows that a procedure works, my doctor wants me to have it, I want to have it. But in the end, money, money, money. That's what speaks. And it gets so tiring. This fight, this specific fight. Because I have limited energy to begin with. And this boils me down to my bones. Because it is not just me. And I have heard so many horror stories. Chemotherapy being denied, antiemetics and anti-nauseas being denied while going through chemotherapy. Yeah, I don't get it. I don't get a system that is based upon making profit and not making a person feel better when they're at one of their most vulnerable times. I'm sorry, that may not be very directed towards what's going on now. Yes, it is, but we've been here. We've been here a long time.
Yes.
So, not the best headspace right now. So I'm respectfully, I'm going to sidestep some of like my thoughts on the overall subject, but on the subject in particular. But you know me, I like to hold the mirror up, and this situational outrage that people are doing and all this is really annoying to me because this man was murdered in cold blood. And instead of focusing on this man being murdered in cold blood, because he didn't see it coming, he becomes the proxy for how we all feel about an industry. And we know, or should know, that the CEO does not unilaterally make any decision for their company. He is not the sole responsible person for the evils of the UnitedHealthcare. In fact, his boss, the CEO of United Health Group, released a really terrible statement. But that shows you even he had a boss. But because people have a bloodlust and they don't want to think things through, they just want to feel things through. They want an outlet. This is our real problem. If we could all find out, which is a probable outcome, that this was someone who was hired to murder this man because of his insurance money, That's a very real possibility. It could be just that simple. His wife is under investigation right now. But see, that narrative isn't all that attractive. What's more attractive is for us to look at the healthcare system that we have and make him the poster child of all that's wrong with our entire system. Congress passed laws on behalf of these corporations to reduce our rights, our protections, and all of those things. UnitedHealthcare is one of many oversized, too powerful health insurance companies that is profiting off of being the middleman in a system that they don't really do much for. And it's just, for me, I understand the outrage and all of those things. It's just really, y'all, stop and look at yourself for just a second. You just saw a man get murdered, and you're using that. All of us out here, we're using that to make him the villain. Now, if we want to have him as a villain, and we want to suspend all that we know, because it's almost the same conversation we have about the president. We blame the president for stuff that the president doesn't even control. Because it's easier to blame him because we need an outlet for what upsets us and what's hurting us and what is betraying us. So we let the president be the stand-in for it. They're doing the same thing with this guy. Y'all, we are mad at something far bigger than this man. So at least have some compassion for the fact that this man got murdered in cold blood. By all accounts, he wasn't a very good dude. But the fact remains, this is a human being that was effectively, slaughtered in the streets. And we are looking at this like a TV show. Right? Like, if this is a criminal investigation, and y'all have heard me make this point before, if it's a criminal investigation, I shouldn't know all of this. And what semblance of reality, if they catch this man, will he have a fair trial? Huh? Where you gonna get that jury pool from? We watching, we found a backpack. This is the same backpack he had on when he shot the man. He rode a bicycle. Look, unless you're doing this and giving us information to help us find the guy, you're just sensationalizing something because we watch everything like it's another episode of Law and Order. Who are we? That's my big thing. Like, I could go into some of the nuances and all that, but people ain't here to hear none of that. And I recognize that. Nobody want to hear all the nuances. So instead, I'm gonna say to everybody out there, hold up your mirror and look at yourself.
When this story first started, we've been hanging around each other too long because you took some of my thunder. You turned this murder into entertainment. Basically, this man was shot in cold blood in the streets. And did your health insurance get better? I mean, because if you're thinking it should now, or this somehow is going to scare other CEOs or whatever.
It scared them. Your premium's about to go up. That's what's about to happen.
You just treated this whole situation like Thea says, like it's a new episode of Law and Order. Like, now we got to find the big bad of this season. Who is he? Where did he go? Who was his accomplice? Who paid him? And then after a while, and I'm being funny, but I'm really not being funny. If y'all do catch him, Thea and Anna, what's the next thing they always do? Well, what's the background?
It won't even matter.
Let's get the background and let's find out what his past is, and let's.
Because here's what's going to happen. This is what's going to happen. Because the pictures we've seen, this is a very attractive man. Okay, so they are going to create an entire thing about him, assuming they catch him soon. If they don't catch him soon, we will be distracted by a new shiny object. And the cost in all of this, you know, because I have certain views on this guy and don't even know him. Because I'm like, you're 50 years old and you're the CEO of a major corporation. All right, how'd you get that job? Okay, so there's another line that you can go down, right? But I don't know. I think I saw somewhere he's got kids. Anybody concerned with how the kids are handling this moment right now? Right? It's
daddy like that.
People want to see the vengeance. They want, because we've all been harmed. We've all sat as either direct or indirect victims of this corporate nightmare that we live in. So we want to see someone punished. So this will do. He's not even treated like a real person. He is treated like a character in a story. That, I mean, is who we are, but I'm just saying, I'm willing to say that's who we are. Can you say that about yourself? That's the problem. We got a president who, and yeah, I'm talking about Joe. We have a president that I agree with you pardoning your son, but your son guilty. Okay? So we got the guy in the highest office of the land putting out favors for his own family. And that's going to put out some favors for his staff. Do we mind? No. Those of us on the left are like, yeah, go ahead, Joe. And I'm one of them. Yeah, go ahead, Joe. But the fact is, look at yourself. It's okay to pardon that degenerate. Okay? Trump pardons degenerates. He's just pardoning a whole bunch of them versus Biden doing one or two. Okay? America starves people out through our corporate system and our legal system all the time, every day, everywhere. But this man is now responsible for all the other deaths. Why weren't we having these discussions before this man got killed? Because we needed a trigger, right? We needed something to give us a flashpoint.
Some of us were talking about these things ad nauseum at the top of our lungs.
Right. Look, I get that. And I know you're upset. But I'm not talking about all the activists that are out there. Because the activists work ceasingly on a variety of issues every day, all day, some of which dying for the things that they are activists for. I get that. I'm talking to the masses. Because, see, the masses are the ones who aren't seeing this man as a human being.
Right.
Right? Fox News, MSNBC, CNN, all of our big networks. Are they treating this like a real person? Nah. Local news? Nah. Podcasters? Nah. Right? Because it's feeding our way as a collective. The individuals doing the hard work and truly fighting really hard for universal health care, for Food and Drug Administration having actual teeth to it, to how claims are processed, to how premiums are treated, the interruptions that are in between the patient and the doctor, the games that doctors play because they get paid on the back end from the prescriptions, which aren't always the prescriptions that the patient needs, but it's the ones that gives the best benefit package to the doctor. Like, there is so much in this.
Mm-hmm.
And people work hard for it every day. I ain't talking about them. Right? Like, if I was talking about cheaters, the people who don't cheat, I ain't talking about you. But I'm saying, what I'm saying is, if it don't fit you, I ain't talking about you, right? But what I'm saying fits a whole lot of us, and we can shift from what that thing is. We can shift. Like for me, if you talk about education, I get high on my horse with education. But am I like that with I don't know, food safety? No. Veterans Affairs? No. I can talk about it, but am I doing anything in those areas? No. Right? So that's what I'm saying. As a collective, as a society, as this big thing that we all are, we can't all accept ourselves out of what we are as a collective. We got to do better. And I don't think we will.
Let me read this question. Question. Do you think people shouldn't make movies that have actors portraying famous killers like Jeffrey Dahmer or Ted Bundy, the ones that come out on Netflix in recent years? No. I'm not going to stop you. It's just your job. Whatever. Never watched one and refuse to do so because this country literally celebritized serial killers. I know it's a better word to that. But there should be no such thing as the infamous. Because what you really want to say is famous, but you want to be proper with it. But
we celebrate the negatives because the negatives in their own way help us feel better about our own lives. It is not really that deep. You know what I mean? Like, we like dark things because we're all dark to some degree. But when I look at something that is like legit dark, a Jeffrey Dahmer type situation, I ain't him, right? No matter how bad I might be in whatever aspects that I might be not my best, I'm not that, right? And we'll watch these things. And it's human. Unfortunately, it's human. Once you get to the point where you notice that this doesn't just happen in America, it happens all around the world. The entertainment is absorbed on a similar measure, no matter where you go. You have to admit that that's a human thing at that point, right? So we're hardwired for stuff like that. I just think that people should take a second, pause, and ask yourself why you choose a particular entertainment that you choose. As an aside, because it fits what Parker was asking, I don't think there's an issue with you making the movies. I just think that people should take a second and ask, why do you want to watch it?
Right.
That's all. There's a lot of movies we decide to watch or not watch. There's a popular series on Netflix, right? Is it on Netflix? No, it's on Amazon. I'm not going to say the name of it. Very popular series. And it is like, I watched almost the entire first season. And here I am near the very end of the season. And I'm just like, I just can't keep taking this in. And it's all about these serial killers. And I'm like, at a certain point, it got for me where I'm like, this, I get it's entertainment, but I'm not enjoying this. Right? Like, I'm enjoying some of the puzzle because, you know, they do it, the puzzles you're trying to figure out. But the story, the meat of the story is like, yo, this is turning me off. I can't do it. But other people have different tastes in entertainment. So, yeah, they want to make the movies as long as people are going to pay to see them.
There are a lot of questions. 1, why did the shooter leave a witness? 2, why hasn't UHC offered any type of rewards? 3, how did the shooter know the man's schedule?
Well, he left a witness because he was hired to kill a particular person.
Yeah, right.
There hasn't been a reward offered because they're cheap, right? I mean, he's at the end of the day, he's an employee. So they're going to stay quiet because they don't want any liability. They don't want nothing to flash back on them. And they're going to wait and see. That's for number 2. And then what was number 3, Marlon?
How do you know his schedule? How do you know?
Yeah, he was hired to get him. You know, it's yeah.
I find it hard to watch these films. I ain't go, and I'm not saying I refuse like I'm getting on my soapbox. It's just not entertainment for me to watch this stuff. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
I've never been into that. I've never been into horror movies, but for a different reason, because I just can't fathom people being that stupid. So once you get killed because you heard a noise and you decide to go down into the basement by yourself with no weapon at all, okay, I'm sorry, I can't do it, bro.
I've never been a fan of horror films, and I don't like them just because I don't seek to be scared, right? Like that's not entertaining for me, but it is for a lot of people, right? That's why they like horror, scary houses and stuff like that. But this thing where it has to be more and more gruesome and more lifelike, that is disturbing, right? Like it has to be like you're watching a real person go through this. Like you watch a scary movie from the 80s and it ain't gonna do nothing for you now because of what we've become desensitized to and what our appetites have moved into for what qualifies as a scary thing. Right. But like I said, once again, I think that is one of those look at ourselves and say, hey, is this really what we want of ourselves? And if yes, then keep, rock on with your socks on, and if no, maybe look at some other things. Yeah, the FBI is at 50. I think originally the state was at like 10.
It was at 10.
Yeah.
So the healthcare, hey, you already you're getting rewarded. Why would we need to put a reward up?
Well, for them, there's no reason for them to do it.
Yeah, that's what I mean. You got 50 from the FBI. You got 10 from the state.
Because I think it's a fair question that was asked. But then think about this. You have a job. You came up missing, your job putting out a reward? Odds are no.
Oh.
Right? And then when you really get into it, he's a CEO, which means he has a key person insurance policy on him. That man losing his life just made them millions of dollars. Like it gets deep, y'all. It's and it's all legal and it's all above board.
All right, y'all, let's go ahead and move on to our next top story. This just broke today. Thank you for Anna for bringing it to our attention. There has been a change in the Syrian government.
The Syrian government apparently has fallen after a sudden rebel offensive sprinted into the capital of Damascus. And tonight there are reports that Syrian President Bashar al-Assad has fled the country. The move brings a stunning end to the 50-year rule of the Assad family.
Eyewitness News reporter Leanne Suter joins us live from our newsroom with the latest on this breaking news. Leanne?
Michelle, the rapidly changing events shaking the region, several countries shutting down their borders with Syria as rebels take control of the country. Celebrations in Damascus as crowds topple a statue after a coalition of Islamist rebel groups called HTS sweep across Syria, taking control of the troubled country. The dramatic collapse marks a major shift in the Middle East, ending the Assad family's decades-long iron-fisted rule over Syria and possible radical change for the country.
What this may do is to herald a new situation in which there is an area in which a unified government is able to control Syria.
President Bashar al-Assad, who's been in control for 24 years, has reportedly fled the country. Syria's prime minister says he's ready to hand over the government to the opposition in a peaceful transition. The White House says President Joe Biden is closely monitoring the situation, and President-elect Donald Trump posting on social media, quote, "The United States should have nothing to do with it. This is not our fight." Syrians celebrating across the country, many chanting freedom. Experts say the opposition knew exactly when to strike.
And it understood very well what was going on in terms of the inability of the international community to intervene in Syria as it had in the past.
At this point, it's unclear what the HTS rebel group stands for or what this takeover could mean for Syria. The UN Special Envoy on Syria is calling for urgent talks in Geneva to ensure an orderly political transition. Live in the newsroom, Leanne Suter, ABC 7 Eyewitness.
So I'll say mine real quick so I can get it out the way, because I'm really more interested in what you two have to say, because I'm not overly interested or concerned with Syria. I agree with Donald Trump. Right? I mean, it's like, for whatever reason that we're in this moment that we're in right now, right? Because in my, I say there's no heroes, there's no villains. Everybody's got something going on. Just like America has the right to make its negotiations and do the things that it does and all that, well, you need to let them people do their stuff too. And it's horrible, and people are dying. But is it the problem that who America would normally choose to win didn't win? Like it's not our business. Like, legit not our business. We help mess it up. We ain't got no need to be putting our voice in there on how to clean it up. America has zero positive track record in cleaning up anything in the Middle East. And Israel got their hands in this, and America's got their hands in it. The CIA got something to do with all of it. So it's like, you know what? Look, for once, let these people do what they need to do to find whatever they need for balance. But America won't do that, because America needs to keep everybody else disrupted, because the last thing they want is for Iran to get with somebody else, and now you have another consolidated power to have to compete with. And I'm done.
And I absolutely agree with you there, except for the fact that Biden already came out and said we will do what Syria needs to. They're gonna help, and just a short thing. Just, I don't know. I don't speak politics language.
Well, I do speak a little politics language. So what happened here? It's important for you to, in order for you, just from what you were saying, Marlon, to understand some of how this is playing out. Don't look at it from what are America's interests, because we don't really have any in this one. Look at it from what is our allies' interest. Israel has direct interest in what happens in Syria, because they're using it as a proxy battleground with Iran. And Turkey is also fighting in Syria, and Russia's fighting in Syria. So you got Turkey, Russia, and Israel and Iran fighting in that land. Those are the real actors. America is just doing whatever Israel wants.
Okay. That makes sense. Anna, you got something? This is right up your wheelhouse.
Well, like we said earlier, this is a developing story. We don't have all the details yet, and so we are not really going to sit here for very long and pontificate on what might happen next. I completely agree with Theus, and it is an absolutely wild experience to agree with Trump.
Yeah, I sort of threw up a little bit in my mouth when I agreed too, but go ahead. Yeah.
But yeah, Biden got into it real quick, and all I see is America's bloodlust at work, and their want to control things where there is a lot of oil. So we really just wanted people to know what was happening.
Mhm.
You know, this is a major change, and we're not exactly sure how far the implications will reach. So it's something to watch.
Yeah, we're just gonna bring it to your attention, but Anna, you're correct. This is too brand new, and anything that we say right now will be guesswork. I mean, there's some things that's factual, like this said, America has always been the world's police instead of the world's medic. So,
Right.
of course, we're gonna find a way to dip a toe in something. It's just what we do. But it's too new to go into in-depth information. We don't even know what the acronym that these rebels are using, what it means, what they stand for, who's next in leadership. We know nothing.
Yeah, I think the important thing, this is just me, my little narrow, jaded view. I'm kind of dispassionate about a lot of things with international affairs because I don't speak or try to think on behalf of America, right? But I'm also not against America because this is my nation and I'm complicit in what America does as a citizen of this nation, right? But I'm looking at it from the positioning of a group of people who know very well how dark things can be, right? And then I also look at it and I say, okay, well, where have I seen something similar in the past? And you don't have to look too far. You look at Iraq, you look at Iran, you look at Qatar, you look at Kuwait, you look at Libya, right? You don't have to look too far to see, okay, ooh, statue gets toppled, current regime gets taken over. Now we're going to deal with another 5 to 10 years of extra war because they've already been at war for like 15 years now, right? I was listening to Mehdi Hassan and whoever he was interviewing, and it's really good to hear from people who kind of have skin in the game, right? And it's really interesting how complex all of these things are. But for us as Americans, we don't often look at international affairs as being complicated. We really clean it up and we make and this is a really good one to challenge some of our thoughts, right? Who is the guy? Assad. Okay, so Assad, we've viewed as the bad guy for a long time. But at one point, he was viewed as different than his predecessors of his own family because he was trying to be more moderate about this or moderate about that. And so he was a hero, then he was a villain, then he was a hero, and now he's a villain again. And then the ones who come to get this villain are aligned with Al-Qaeda and Taliban sentiments. So now who's the villain, right? Right? It gets muddy, right? And then within that, the resistance fighters that are Al-Qaeda and Taliban affiliated, allegedly, they're also resistance. So that means that they are the descendants and generations of people who have been fighting for their freedom in Syria for generations. So it's really muddy and really complicated. Just like if you look at the dynamics of America here and how we deal with our race issues, our class issues, right? Nothing is clean. Everything has layers and they rub and bump into each other. And I think it's important for us to kind of zoom out a little bit and realize that as complicated as it is for us in our world, it's same way for them. At least that's my thought. I could be completely off base. So
your thoughts are your thoughts.
That don't mean they're right.
Well, chances are they're not right, but your thoughts are your thoughts. Anyway, everybody, that is our first hour. I know we're shortening it up a little bit, but those are all the news that we got. We're going to go ahead and roll into the second hour with a Am I the A-hole positive story of the week. The returning Real or Nah. And, of course, Foxy's videos of the week. 4-minute break, give or take, to reboot and refresh. And we'll see everybody on the other side. Stay tuned. We are back, and without further ado, let's go ahead and pay those bills. Please do not forget to go to patreon.com/Tracy Media Fan. Help support Tracy and all of her endeavors. Please do not forget to go to Anna Hart's website, BorelliEtc.com. Learn something that you think you need to know, but you should. Please do not forget to go to Thea's website, OurUnitedCore.com. Communities build movements. And if you need to reach me, you can do so at radtp@outlook.com. That's RADTP@outlook.com. Let's go ahead and get into the Mama Heart Hour. Okay, I just had to check a message to make sure of something, but okay, just had to be sure before I move on. Am I the a-hole? All right, off the bat, since we've been on the show long enough, I kind of try to know this panel, and stories that I don't put up no more, stories that I don't even entertain putting up no more. But I had to put this one up because I've held it for a while. And I just wanted to go ahead and get it out. So off the bat, I know Theus is not going to like this at all. Period. He's going to call her the a-hole. It's automatic. So let's just go ahead and get it. Let you know we're getting a divorce.
Title of this story from AITAH is, Am I the Astronaut for letting you know I am divorcing you by sending you a thread on a website that you use to ignore me? Hi, Stefan. Maybe you will finally listen. And if you're wondering if you can just speed home and stop me from doing this and leaving, it's too late. I'm sending you this after I've already loaded everything in the car and left. Don't worry, I've spoken with our landlords and took my name off the lease. I've set up a direct deposit for next month's rent. After that, you're on your own, buddy. I guess you're wondering why. I'm guessing you'll act like you're completely blindsided, right? Because you've done absolutely nothing wrong and you're a great husband and father-to-be, aren't you? Well, buddy, let me break it down for you in a language you understand. I, 29 female, have been married to my husband, 35 male, for 5 years, and we've been together for nearly 10. On paper, everything seemed fine, but in reality, our marriage has been anything but. I've reached my breaking point, and I need to know if I'm the one in the wrong here. From the beginning, my mother-in-law has been a nightmare. She made everything about her from day one. At our wedding, she wore white, claiming it was a family tradition. It wasn't. She constantly criticizes me from my cooking to my appearance. I'll never forget the time she called me fat at a family gathering right in front of everybody. And what did my husband do? Nothing. Not a single word to defend me. It didn't stop there. She has accidentally destroyed my belongings, including my grandmother's necklace, which she threw out because it looked like the cheap costume jewelry. She's gone out of her way to make me feel small and unwelcome in my own home. This bitch sounds special. But every time I tried to talk to my husband about it, he'd brush it off, saying I was overreacting or being too emotional. And then there's my husband. He's always on Reddit, constantly giving strangers relationship advice, which is laughable considering how he treats me. He spends more time rating women's boobs on Reddit than talking to me, literally. And just so you know, the last pair he rated weren't a 4 out of 10, they were a 10 out of 10. Yeah, he's got plenty of time to do that, but can't be bothered to remember anything about my life. He'll forget my birthday, our anniversary, even simple things like what I'm working on or what's important to me, but he has a perfect memory for his work schedule and things that matter to him. When we fight, he becomes incredibly hostile and always throws in a sarcastic buddy at the end of his sentences, like I'm some acquaintance he can barely tolerate, and he never cleans. The house, the dishes, laundry, you name it, it's all on me. It's like he thinks being an adult is optional as long as he's got his job and his Reddit account. The final straw came a few weeks ago. I'm 5 months pregnant with our first child, a daughter. My mother-in-law started making comments about how she'll have to whip the girl into shape and how she'll raise her to be tough because I'm too soft. When I told my husband that I didn't want his mother to have too much influence on our daughter, especially with the way she treats me, he just laughed it off, saying his mother means well and that I was overthinking it. But the moment that truly broke me was when we were talking about future childcare and my husband suggested that his mother should watch our daughter while we work. I told him I wasn't comfortable with that, especially considering how his mother treats me, and he snapped. He called me paranoid, said I should get over it, because his mother was going to be a big part of our daughter's life, whether I liked it or not. This is the same woman who believes corporal punishment is okay. I've seen her hit my husband's nephew for the smallest thing, and no one does anything about it. It's like they're all living in some kind of cult, and I'm finally waking up to the reality of what's going on. If he wouldn't stand up for me, how could I expect him to stand up for our child? I started to fear what kind of environment our daughter would grow up in, a place where she might be belittled or bullied by her own grandmother, with a father who wouldn't do anything to stop it. Oh, and did I mention that he missed our first ultrasound? His mother needed him to help her with something urgent. Turned out to be fixing her Wi-Fi. Her fucking Wi-Fi. He chose that over seeing our daughter for the first time. That told me everything I needed to know about where I stand in his life. So I packed up and left. I'm done living like this. Oh, and in case you're wondering, I've already contacted a lawyer. You can't scare me into complying anymore because I have all those texts. You know exactly which ones I'm talking about. Hello, let's hear more about those. So, Stefan, I wish you all the best in your future marriage with your mother and the women of Reddit whose boobs you don't even deserve. Am I the asshole for leaving my husband after he neglected me for years, to let his mother mistreat me and made me fear for our future daughter's safety?
I don't understand. I mean, the only thing I could even try to have any objection to is that she did it on Reddit.
That's it. That's it.
He's just meeting him where he is, though.
Yeah, and I still don't agree with that.
I
mean,
know.
It's Reddit. You know what I'm saying?
I
But
know.
other than that,
it's the Reddit thing. That's all.
Oh, I'm like,
that's what was said. The reason why is just like, I know you don't like arguments over Reddit and
yeah.
Oh, okay, yeah.
I think it's tacky and you're doing it for your own attention, not to really make a point. But other than that, I mean, ain't nothing I can say. I mean, people break up the way they break up. And sometimes it's a note, sometimes it's a phone call, sometimes it's a text message. In this case, it's a Reddit post. She's doing what she thinks she needs to do, and she'll deal with the consequences of it. And you know, I don't know.
I'm literally just going by her words. I'm not in their lives. I don't know what's going on. I'm just going by her words. But dude, you have no redeeming quality whatsoever to stay with you. Like, I don't see anything.
No, not from the way she told the story. No.
Well, I'm going by the way she said the story. I'm going by the way she said the story. You have no redeeming qualities whatsoever. You have none. I can't see you being a good father. We already established you're not a good husband. I mean, you know what? Okay, I'm gonna say it, and I know I'm gonna get a whole hoop and holler and everything. There's some people I just have no idea why the hell you got married. I just don't get it sometimes. I just don't. You either you're not ready to be married, or you just really shouldn't be married, or you're doing it because you'd have to do that Sunday, and you decide, hey, let's get married. I just don't get it sometimes.
Well, I mean, getting married is the easy part. So I mean, you can get caught up in the what you are hoping for. You can get caught up in there's a lot of things. There's a lot of ways you can end up married to the wrong person. There's a lot of ways. And then it's always kind of complicated how to get out of it. So that's why I don't have any judgment for this lady, because she's doing what she feels she sincerely needs to do. And even if there's another side to the story where he's really not as bad as she made him out to be, in her mind, he's that bad to her, you know? So it's like, even if he's a decent guy, he's not the guy she needs, right? And she's doing what is going to be best for her, and the baby's not even here yet. So when the baby gets here, then they got to figure that part out. But right now, she has to do what is best for her, and be willing to accept whatever comes with that, in a manner of speaking, within reason. But you know, take care of yourself and, you know, go, you know.
What you got, Anna?
From the sounds of it, this woman is deeply unhappy, and in that case, go. Um, I can sort of, like I said, she's trying to meet him where she thinks he is. It's not an avenue I would have chosen, and so I don't quite understand it. But I understand longing for trust and intimacy in your partnership. And if you don't feel you have that, it's time to search for who you can build that trust with. Like in this case, because I don't know, there are two sides to the story. I'm not willing to call someone an asshole over purely one side.
Yeah.
I can read how unhappy she is, how unseen she feels. And I know many partners, both male and female, can relate to that. I hope you can find yourself seen in some future relationship, because this is not the one. It does not sound like it.
What you got, Foxy?
So I think that she has allowed her mother.
We lost Foxy's
What?
audio.
Yeah. What happened?
Marlon
Oh,
muted
mute.
himself and we
You're
lost
muted.
Foxy.
You muted me?
I literally muted so you wouldn't hear the lighter. Okay, sorry.
Yeah, you said she allowed her mother, and that was all we got.
Yep.
Yeah, she allowed her mother-in-law and her husband to disrespect her, and it went on so long that it was the straw that broke the camel's back. I think when the baby came, that was her thought of going forward. She put the baby ahead of the game, and she was like, "No, this is it." So, in my opinion, and just hearing from her side, that the husband is a POS because his job, in my opinion, is to stand up for his wife. He allowed his mother to come in, took her necklace, disrespected her, run her house, blah, blah, blah. So just from her side of the story, yeah, I would have been gotten out. I wouldn't have waited until I was pregnant. But now that she is pregnant, she is making a positive move. I think.
It doesn't help. It really doesn't help when the mom, the grandma, future grandmother, yeah, I'm gonna whip her into shape. Shit, this ain't the army. What are you talking about? It's a baby. What are you doing? And you, again, going by her side of the story only. But I have to speak as a father, as a protector of the family. A protector is no matter against who. Lady, unless my child doing something dangerous that can hurt herself or others, you ain't putting your hands on them. That's an automatic rule. Period. So for you to come out and think that you finna treat my child like a drill instructor or a soldier or whatever. Nah. The final straw was, you're right, Foxy. Since the husband is not going to protect the child, I'll do it. I'll leave. I'll take myself out of this situation.
I think it's a little bit less noble than that as far as this lady's motivations. I think it's kind of typical for survivors of abuse. You know, she was dealing with it. They had already broken her down, and she was trying to find her way to keep her marriage together and soldier through. But for me, the turning point in her story, it was when she said that the baby's going to be a girl. That right there, for me, was the turning point in the story. Because from what I've heard of those who have gone through abusive situations and things like this, it's when you see the smaller version of you is going to have to navigate this same space. You're going to act to protect that, right? So it's like, if there was no baby involved, she probably would still be dealing with it for a while. But once you know that you're about to have a little girl, it's like, you know, my husband's not going to alienate affection on my daughter. My mother-in-law's not going to have my daughter thinking less of herself and questioning who she is and questioning all of these things, right? It's to me, it seemed like that's probably the moment that it crystallized for her, and it was time to go. But I could be wrong, because like we're only going by what she wrote on a Reddit post.
Anybody else? Nope. All right. Positive story of the week. Haven't had these for a while, and we'll probably need to have one at this time. Reverse pickpocketing.
When I was younger, I noticed how excited my mother would get over finding money on the ground or in the wash, even if it was only $1. Once I was a bit older and had a job, I realized that I had money that I could spend however I wanted. My parents didn't really like receiving random gifts when it wasn't a holiday or a birthday. So I started sneaking $1 and $5 bills into their wallets, bags, or even coat pockets. It made me so happy to see how excited my mom would get, even though it wasn't much money. And sometimes my dad would bring home candy with the surprise extra money. I'm an adult now and still live with my parents. They let me live with them super cheap, even though money has been a little tight for the last few years. They don't like it when I just give them money to help, even if they pay me back. I've started reverse pickpocketing 10s and 20s. My mom especially gets excited and tells me about all the money she found. My dad doesn't vocalize that he found money, he just brings home ice cream or fast food for the family. The problem is, I can't stop. It's putting me at a detriment because they don't charge much for rent, but I'm worried that I'll get caught soon. I'll probably stop once our financial situation is a bit better in a year or so. I just absolutely love the smile that it brings to my mother's face, and the smile my dad has when he surprises us with a special treat. It's worth the $20 to $30 every paycheck. I don't do it too often, but it's been going on for so long, and I think that I'm addicted to it.
No, I dig it. And guess what, old boy, your dad knows.
He does.
He does.
Your dad knows. He didn't know at first, but he figured it out. He knows. But that feeling, hearing the story, I mean, it kind of crystallized something. Like, that's part of what I'm addicted to. Like, that's why I do some of the stuff I do. Okay, all right. Well, I'm in a bad state right now, so I don't want to start crying. But no, it's just one of them things where it's like, when you talk to people, I think we brought this up before, like people who wrestle with depression and things like that. You put out into the world the things that you wish the world had. That's what you do. And so I think this young man was like, I want to do something good for my parents. And now he's addicted to what it feels like to do something good for somebody who just appreciates it. Like the little joy that you get when someone is like just going about their day. You know, they got the resting bitch face going on, right? And then you just walk up and say, "Hi, how you doing? I just want to give you this." And people naturally put their hand out, and you just give it to them and walk away. That feels good to me, you know, and I can see how you can get addicted to that.
I'm so glad that I have gotten to a point, even though it does slip up a little bit from time to time. I'm glad I've gotten to a point where I can give Foxy gifts for absolutely no reason whatsoever. It isn't a makeup gift or okay, I gave you this, now you got to give me this, or, things like that. I truly do it because it makes her happy. And whatever makes her happy makes me happy. So I get this dude. With the parents, it makes them happy. Because he already knows his parents is not going to just take money just to take money. Or let me pay you back. Or at least let me pay some rent since I'm still staying here, or anything like that. But it's a twofold thing. One, it makes you happy. And two, in my way, I feel like I'm paying you back. Without you even knowing that I'm paying you back.
Now, here's what I would challenge old boy with. Because he's grown. He said he's grown. And his parents won't take money from him because to them, he will always be their baby. So they're just trying to help out their baby. Right? Plus, it helps them having him there. I'm willing to bet. All you got to do, bruh, is kind of pay attention to when the bills come in and where your dad puts them. And take a photo, just take a picture of your choice. Pick whichever bill you can get your hands on, take a picture of it. You can now go, and this is for the folks out there if you want to do this or if you're in a position to do this for a loved one or something. You can set up bill pay to come out of your account and pay. It doesn't matter if they pay electronically or anything like that. You can set up bill pay like $50, go straight to that bill on whatever cycle works for you. And utility companies hold those things as credits. They don't send that money back unless it's been there for 3 months. So that's an idea for y'all. If you're in a similar situation to this young man, that's one way you can help out maybe a little bit more.
What you got, Anna?
I just hope more people will allow themselves to feel the absolutely intoxicating feeling it is to help others. It is addicting. It is a high all of its own. It will carry you on. There is no risk in, you won't overdose from helping out. Stay smart. Don't go into debt trying to help someone out. This is if you can. But I love it didn't take much. A couple of single dollar bills or maybe a $5 in a wallet. If you can, yeah, pay a whole bill. If you can, try to help with whatever. We never know what people are going through. And the smallest act of kindness can be the biggest moment in someone's day. This was a really lovely story. Thank you, Marlon.
Yeah. And just my final thought to this. I don't think the dad knows. I think both of the parents know.
Yeah.
I think both parents know.
I thought about that.
I'm gonna tell you why I know for a fact, because I'm glad you said it, because I was on the fence on one or two sides of it, so to speak. I was thinking the dad didn't know, but on the case that he didn't know, that's still a cool dad, because he's like, oh, I found some extra money. I'm going to share it with the family by bringing candy and stuff like that. But then I was on the other side of the fence of going, oh, he done gave me some extra money. And I told him I don't want no money. So cool, I'm just going to buy him or the family something just to say, hey, you know, this is still your money. But I don't want to embarrass you by giving you the money back or something like that. So I'll just buy some candy or buy some ice cream or something like that.
That is still paying it forward. That is still, you know, returning the happiness into now the family. Like, yeah, we want you to enjoy this as well.
That's why I was saying that I think the dad knows, and because see, that's the kind of dad I have, and that's the kind of dad I hope to live up to being. And it's like, to me, this is how I played it out in my mind. It doesn't mean that's what it is. It's just my imagination. He puts money in mom's purse. Mom is a humble, simple soul. So $5 is the fact that I didn't know I had this. And then it becomes a treat. Like whenever I see it, it's a treat, right? It's like, you know, that moment of, wow, someone thought of me. And then I'm thinking, because I'm like pushing this off on like my parents and how I think they will react. My mom would attribute that extra money to my dad. And my dad, after the first couple times, at first he would be attributing it to my mom. Then he would notice that she's getting excited about getting money too. So then he would attribute it to me. You know what I'm saying? And the nature of how I was raised and the type of man my father is, that money, he ain't spending that on himself. So his way of showing love is to treat the family, because they obviously run on a tight budget. So that ice cream isn't just ice cream, right? It's like, if you've ever watched Willy Wonka and the Chocolate Factory, it's like that candy bar, it's not just a candy bar, right? This is, we normally eat peanut butter sandwiches. Today we had chicken, right? It's like, is that kind of, you know, feeling. So that's why I was saying, I think the dad knows and he's playing along, but he's also a very proud man. So he's not going to just pocket the money. He's going to put that money right back into the family.
That's what I was trying to say, that he's going to give back. Like, so
but I don't think mama know. I think, but I'm saying, once again, this is me because I'm using my family. So my mom probably would not, because she would just think it's my dad doing it.
Oh. So she does know something going on. She just doesn't have the right person.
She's just not looking at the correct person, which would be perfect, because I don't want you looking at me. And it makes me feel good to see that smile when you look at my dad.
Mm-hmm.
So, because it's kind of funny, and I don't want to take the shine off with this, because this is a very nice story. But after a certain amount of time, you go, okay, look, I know I ain't have no $20 bill in this damn thing. So I literally came from the store, had to walk out because I ain't have $20. Now all of a sudden I got $20. Come on.
Well, you know, if we go into the spirit of how I normally would treat these stories, this is because he's actually a small-time drug dealer. And this is one of his ways to launder some of his cash.
I knew I should have moved on. Real or nah? Again, this is a story I'm just wanting to clean out my files, but I just wanted to play it for you because, one, we haven't had a real or nah in a long time. And two, Yeah, I'm not gonna give you my answer. I just want y'all to listen to it. Y'all let me know what you think.
We were out walking around this evening. He had mentioned wanting to get ice cream, but had not brought any money, and neither had I. We usually take a walk after dinner and do not buy anything during it unless we decide beforehand that we want to get something that night. As we were walking past a group of people, he made a sudden movement to the side and then started running in the opposite direction at full speed. It happened so fast that I had not seen exactly what he did. People were exclaiming things like, "Oh my gosh!" One guy shouted, "He took my ice cream!" That was when I realized what had happened. He had actually stolen this guy's ice cream on a busy street. I was absolutely shocked and mortified. Everyone around us had seen it happen or quickly heard about it. People were staring and pointing down the street where he was still running. I couldn't believe what I was seeing. I apologized repeatedly to the man whose ice cream he had grabbed, then said I was going to go find him and got myself out of there. It was utterly humiliating. By the time I caught up, he had nearly made it back to the house. When I arrived a few minutes later, I found him crouched in the stairway, furiously eating the ice cream out of the cup. When he heard me coming, he scrambled, dripping ice cream everywhere. He looked like a deer in headlights. He literally left the cup on the stairs and ran away from me up to our apartment. However, I had the key, so he was just standing there when I got to the door. I, of course, demanded an explanation. He had the audacity to deny he had done anything. He insisted he did not know what I was talking about. I sort of lost it and started yelling at him. The cup was still on the stairs. His hands and mouth were covered in ice cream, and a dozen people had literally seen him snatch it right out of the guy's hand. What the heck did he mean by saying he didn't know? He then changed his story, saying it was just a joke. What? He decided to reenact a YouTube prank video on a random stranger? How is that even a prank? After I let us inside, I kept asking what made him think this was okay to do. He changed his story again. This time, he said he didn't know why he had done it and that it was just an urge. I did not even know what to say, so I told him I needed some time to myself. I'm seriously disturbed. He has no good reason for doing this. It's completely out of character for him. He's always been mild, reserved, and treats people, especially me, very kindly. He's the last person I would have thought would do something like this. What do I do next to figure out what this was about? How can I even know if he's being honest? Additional info. Last night, I asked him again what he was thinking. He said, "I don't know. I already told you." I told him I couldn't accept that answer because it wasn't a real answer. I explained that we needed to talk about it because after reading some comments online, I wanted to know if something was going on with him mentally. He said it was not. I started naming possible stressors like his job, family, or money, and he said everything was fine. To my knowledge, that's true. If something is going on, then he's hiding it very well. He was visibly annoyed by my questions, and when I eventually asked if he realized how bizarre his actions were, he snapped. "Who cares? Just stop bothering me. I'm busy." He was browsing Facebook. He refused to talk about it anymore after that, but he's been acting normal when talking about other topics. It's like he's pretending it never happened. If it had not happened, there would be nothing about his current behavior that seems weird. Now, I feel like I will seem crazy if I bring it up again. I don't know if I should just forget about it like he has or what. I'm still stunned and very confused.
So it's definitely a nah. But here's this thing. Here's how it could be true. All right. It could be true where we are looking at an alternate universe where the people are actually cats and the cats are actually people. And so she is a house cat who is in love with a feral alley cat. And so he's been trying to pass himself off as a domesticated cat, but his feral tendencies jumped out in that moment and he snatched the ice cream and ran and ate the ice cream. There we go. Then I'd say it was real.
I'm giving it to Eric. Anna?
I'm not sure what to say on this at all.
So far, that means I have the most rational explanation.
Sure.
I could just imagine him sitting in the stairway, like demolishing that ice cream. That's just hilarious to me. But it's not a true story. No.
Okay.
He
Here we go.
reacted like a little kid would. Like,
Yeah. And that means he ate the ice cream with his hands.
So I was good with this story. I was really good with the story of you up and snatch the ice cream because assholes are assholes. They would do stuff like that. But as soon as you went to the stairwell and you're nibbling on it until you got caught and you deer in the headlights and then you run off. I'm sorry. I hate to bring this story back up again, but the chipmunk damn thing just popped right back in my freaking head because here you is under the stairwell eating ice cream like a chipmunk. Then I got confused at what you were saying because he ran back to the house. But he was under the stairwell, but I'm the only one with a key because he tried to run off. I was like, wait a minute, why do your house have a stairwell?
Apartment.
Well, it's an apartment.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. But he doesn't have a key.
Because he's a feral alley cat.
Okay. So it just threw me off like, man, get the fuck out of here with this story. I'm sorry. I'm no longer believing any beaver stories ever again from this point on. As long as this show is on the air, forget it. It is not happening.
You're not believing any what type of stories, Marlon?
Say what?
You're not believing what type of stories, Marlon?
You heard what I said. I'm not gonna play this game. I know the word that I used, and I'm using it correctly.
Yeah, use the word. What was the word, Marlon?
Animal beaver. The animal beaver. I'm using that word correctly. I refuse to bow down to you nasty people who use that word in a. And by the way, it's so funny that what was it, 2 days ago or last night? I was looking at Naked Gun, and that was one of the jokes in there. Nice beaver. And she actually brought down a stuffed beaver. I cracked up. I'm like, oh God, I love this movie. I have literally got to take a weekend and watch all the Naked Gun movies again. Those are great movies. Oh, so I take that back when I said there has never been a movie that had a trilogy when all three movies was great. So, cause so far I said the Bourne trilogy is the only trilogy where all three movies was good. That's not true. Naked Gun had three great movies back to back to back. So yeah, I have to watch that and Airplane again too. When I say, I know I'm going off on a tangent. We got plenty of time. When I say will y'all have that mental fog or depression or something like that, and I've said sometimes you just have to find a stupid, idiotic movie to watch that just doesn't make no sense whatsoever. I have no idea how I forgot about Naked Gun and Airplane because it is the silliest movie out there. They're double entendres and they're just it has so many catchphrases. Like they were the original as the building is burning behind them and the fireworks are shooting out of the building. And he's standing there talking about there's nothing to see here. There's nothing to see here. Yes, sorry.
You like, yeah, I get it.
Good movies,
classic 80s
and Airplane
movies. You see, because to me, it's like I put Hot Shots in that category. You know, that Scary Movie is kind of like an homage to some of that. I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, right? I like that kind of stuff where it's like you're telling a serious story and you being stupid at the same time. Is
Blazing Saddles, but
yeah, I didn't really get into Blazing Saddles as much as everybody else.
I like Blazing Saddles, but I'm just gonna give you
Yeah. No, that's because what's that guy's name? The one who made those
I
movies.
never saw Light Stinks.
Mel Brooks.
Mel Brooks.
Oh,
Yeah, I like his work
Brooks is so funny.
overall.
Yeah, Mel Brooks movies. The Jerk.
Yeah, when Steve Martin at his best was
Yeah.
God.
Three Amigos.
The Three
Leslie.
Amigos. Who was that?
Steve Martin.
Steve Martin.
Chevy Chase.
Chasing Martin
and
Short.
I don't think it was Martin Short, but it's the other version of a Martin Short. Like,
well, all three of them came off of
Saturday Night Live.
Saturday Night Live. So I thought the third one was
It might be Martin Short. Yep. My favorite Martin Short movie, though, lost to most people for the classics, Inner Space. I enjoyed that movie.
I've never heard of that one.
Inner Space was where he was just like a normal guy, I think, and he was like really awkward. And this other guy who was supposed to be like a real ladies' man or whatever, but he was like a astronaut in a manner of speaking. And they shrank his ship down really small, and he was supposed to have been injected into like a lab monkey, but he ended up being injected into this man because like the Russians were trying to get him. It's an old, silly, dumb movie.
Yeah, Tracy. Surely you're right. I am, and don't call me Shirley. Yep. I saw one, and I'm surprised. They have videos of people who've seen famous movie quotes for the first time. And I forgot about this. The scene on Airplane where these two kids, it really looked like they was like no more than 11, 12 years old. And the little kid the guy is in a suit, and the girl is on the plane, and she's sitting in a chair, and she dressed real nice. And he comes up and says, "Oh, I just happened to walk by. I'm just wondering, did you want a cup of coffee?" And she's like, "Oh, that's so nice. Oh, have a seat." So he sits down and gives her the cup of coffee, and he ask her, "Cream?" And she says, "No, I like my coffee black, like my men." And people, I was like, I forgot this scene in Airplane.
I don't remember any of Airplane other than it looking like they had to, like when the stewardess had to blow up the co-pilot. That's like the only thing I remember.
So you don't remember the calm down part?
That movie wasn't that.
Up with billy clubs and clubs.
I've watched Airplane 1 and 2 a few times, but it wasn't like my movie, right? So I don't remember it as well. Yeah, I watched like the Loaded Weapon or whatever that stuff was called.
Oh, Loaded Weapon.
Okay. I did watch those.
June Cleaver talking John still makes me holler. Yeah. You did not see that coming.
Loaded Weapon was the one with Leslie Nielsen, right?
Yep. Leslie Nielsen, and I know I'm going to mess up.
OJ.
Leslie Nielsen, OJ, and Elvis' wife.
Jamie Lee Presley?
Priscilla.
Oh, no, that's probably the daughter. I don't know. Okay.
Priscilla Presley. Yeah.
Didn't know that.
And the dude used to be a former football player because he was in all three of them too.
Jim Brown? I don't think he was in that.
No, it's a white dude, but he used to be a football player, but he was in all three of them. He's a great actor now.
Joe Namath? I don't know. I'm just making up stuff at this point.
I know you are, because I don't remember no movie Joe Namath been in.
I'm just making up stuff at this point. I don't know. But that movie I was telling you about, Inner Space, it had Martin Short, Dennis Quaid, Meg Ryan. It wasn't just some off-brand movie. That's
a good lineup.
Yeah.
You could also watch Splash too, but
well, I mean, Splash and Mannequin. I mean, the 80s gave you some interesting stuff.
Yeah. What was
Jim Carrey and Once Bitten? Like, I really like that one. Love Potion number 9. I like that one.
I never watched Love Potion number 9. I saw Once Bitten.
And not it wasn't Pretty in Pink because I never enjoyed that one, but it was another movie that was just like this is one of those buddy romance comedies, where like it was the goofy little nerdy guy, and then because she broke the telescope, he fronted her the money for it, but in exchange she had to pretend to be her boyfriend, and it was one of those romantic, funny kind of movies from back then. Who was the star? Who was the star of Pretty in Pink?
I was thinking of something else. Pretty in Pink, because she did a lot of movies during the 80s.
Molly Ringwald.
Yeah.
All right. So what was that? 80s?
And what's the one where all of them was teenagers and they was at detention in school?
Just One of the Guys. That was a good 80s movie where the girl pretended to be a guy.
Name the movie where all of them was in detention on a Saturday.
Breakfast Club.
Breakfast Club. Okay. You never seen Breakfast Club? See it one time and you're pretty much done with it. It did have all the big hitters in that one movie though. It was a real good movie. Literally everybody that was in the Breakfast Club was a major star or became a major star. And then the 90s came and they all disappeared. So cool. I mean, seriously, they did. I mean, except for Emilio Estevez, who went on to do Young Guns, but the rest of them, they disappeared.
Can't Buy Me Love. That was the movie.
Never heard of it.
Oh man, you probably watched it at some point. At least
it's a Beatles song.
Yeah, I got
it was in the movie, but no, this was fun. It had Patrick Dempsey and whoever Amanda Peterson is, but it was a fun movie. I might want to find that.
Oh, nice. Soul Man was a good movie.
I don't know that I watched. That was a Dean Martin movie, wasn't it? Or what? No, Steve Martin movie.
Soul Man was oh come on, what's the guy's name who did Mufasa?
James Earl Jones.
James Earl Jones was in the movie. Basically, the premise was this guy was trying to get into this college. He was a white guy. He was trying to get into this college. They didn't have he wasted so much money that when it was time for him to go to college, his parents cut him off, saying, "You wasted too much money, so we're going to cut you off." So he had to find a way to get a scholarship into the college.
That's a very racist premise. You understand this, right?
It is going to be a racist. It is about to be a racist premise here.
Because it's assuming that we get a benefit for being black.
That's exactly right. Because his friend, who was a scientist, found a tanning pill.
Oh, okay.
And it tanned him to the point where he looked black.
He could pass black.
The only reason that I liked the movie was it was so much at the end where he was like, "Oh, this is what it feels like to be black." Because he didn't get the benefits of being the rich white kid.
Those.
You look at what you look at, and it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah, that's cool. The Last Starfighter, that was like an epic movie.
I don't do star movies. I don't do space movies.
Oh,
except Spaceballs. I'll watch Spaceballs all day. It was
was a great movie.
That was a very good movie. And yeah, Tracy I Am series. It was a good movie. If they didn't have that premise at the end, yes, I would have said that was a stereotypical racist ass movie.
It still was. It just had the ending that
just liked it because how many times have we said on this show?
I mean, yeah, there's a lot of racist stuff that we can look back and say we still enjoyed it.
Yeah, but I mean, how many times have we sat here and said, no matter how I can sit there and understand when you say I empathize with you as a as a white person to a black person. But please do not say I understand, because you don't. You just don't. You do not wake up the same way I wake up. And this guy was put in a situation where, okay, how you see it. But I see what you saying, because here goes Tracy with blackface and everything else. Just stop taking the tanning pill. I get it. You go back to being
it was literally a person of privilege pretending to be poor so they could have access to what poor people get an opportunity at if they're lucky. But it's fine, and we're dissecting a movie, so it's whatever.
It is a movie. It's just, And you're absolutely right, Theo, when you say go ahead and look back on some of your favorite movies and go, wow, this was really bad. This was really racist. This is really, I mean,
it's the overt racism I can't stand, but the ones that are just racially insensitive or something like that, you just kind of chalk it up, because things change over time, and then make it right. It was wrong then, it's wrong now, but there's a malicious intent and then there's non-malicious intent. And sometimes you gotta factor it in or you'll go crazy.
Yep. Because you're gonna have this tendency that at least I try to do, where you just want everybody to be perfect from birth. How dare you watch? How dare you listen to? How dare you look at and everything else? And like, people grow up. I'm sorry, none of y'all would have liked me before Trump's first term. None of y'all would have liked me before Trump's first term, because I had a different mindset. And my mind opened up to, this country is bullshit. And I'm going to tell y'all bullshit.
Well, as they say, you were not where you are now before. And sometimes you gotta give people that freedom, that grace, so to speak, right? Like I'm like a walking encyclopedia of various pieces of certain types of information, but I didn't always have that. And sometimes I step into a room or I walk into a group of people and I'm the least knowledgeable one in the group. And you can, oh, I didn't know that. Oh, okay. Tell me more, right? Always be a student. Isn't that what they say? Yeah.
Always. All right, let's get on out of here. Foxy's videos of the week. First video, I really don't have any reason for it. I just like the song.
Only God can do it. 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 Do it.
I just like the song. I'm sorry. I just love that song. I just like that part of the song. Okay. Everybody should know this film. It feels that way sometimes.
I can relate to that too well. I have a light switch behind my bed that if you look over the mattress, you can see it. But it's just low enough that you can't just stick your hand through there and plug something in. So you think this should be easy. Plug been in the same place for 13 years. I still cannot. It is so annoying. I got to turn the light on to plug in the thing. And I'm like, I know I'm in the right place. I know I'm in the right place.
All right. Next
Monster
video.
under my bed.
You play too much.
Sir, help me.
Oh, I can't. I'm married. See?
I knew I married the right man.
Babe?
Surprise, baby, you passed the test. Come here. Wait, you're his wife? Come here.
What's going on?
I love you so much.
So you're not actually stealing my purse?
Oh, like you tried stealing my husband? No, I'm not as toxic as you. Come on, let's go.
Is that a knife?
Oh yeah, that was in case you decided to help her. Don't worry about that.
That's some toxic love right there. Yeah.
You play too much. You just.
There are levels of dysfunction in that one little short clip.
Last video of the night, where there's a will, there's a way.
$20? Cup. If you can move the cup without touching it, the $20 is yours. That's easy. Thank you. Same for this one. Where you go? Excuse me. All right, babe. Challenge. Now, let's see. Where are you going? Thank you. Try this one now. Good.
Bye.
Wait. How did? Thank you.
Now, let me say this real quick, Theus, because I just want to get this point out. Was it worth your $80? Was it? Was it really worth $80 to get them?
Depends how many clicks this video got.
Not worth it. Not worth it.
I love watching a channel where a brother and sister, the brother basically challenges his sister, who is incredibly smart in science, to do things that you would think are not possible, but
Yeah,
so
I think they were some of the first ones to start
Are
doing
they
it.
black?
Yeah, they are.
I think they were some of the first to
I
start.
love them.
I thought that was her father. Okay, cool.
Oh,
No,
there's
they're
other
brothers.
versions out there, but I think the one me and Anna are talking about is like it's a big brother and his little sister.
Yeah.
Yeah, but she's like uses physics to defy every
Yes.
challenge that's put in front of her.
I think
Yes.
I've
Love
seen
it.
a lot of her videos. Those are cool.
I love those.
But all right, that is it.
Joe versus the volcano. Y'all didn't watch that?
I actually, that was a friend's birthday party. I remember that movie really well.
That's Tom Hanks, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
I never watched it. I've heard of it. I never watched it.
I like
Meg
that
Ryan.
one. Yep.
Yep.
Was
Because
that
those two made a lot of movies together.
They did. They worked well together.
Yeah. He used to do stuff with Meg Ryan, and he used to do stuff with Goldie Hawn.
Goldie Hawn. Oh, Goldie Hawn. Oh,
because it was like the Money Pit. Was that?
Oh,
the movie?
what's the Goldie Hawn movie where she amnesia?
Oh, that one. Overboard.
Overboard.
Kurt Russell. She worked with her husband.
Her husband, yeah, Kurt Russell.
That was a really good one.
Yeah, I love that one. Childhood favorite.
Shelley Long is who I was thinking of. Tom Hanks and Shelley Long. They did Money Pit.
Oh, well, cheers. Oh, I don't think this is 80s. I think this is 90s. Look Who's Talking.
I didn't really enjoy those too much. I think I liked the first one.
By
By the time they got to the
first one. I didn't
second
like
one,
the
I
second
wasn't really into it.
I didn't like the second one because it's But Look Who's Talking.
Yeah, because they did Look Who's Talking, Look Who's Talking 2, and Look Who's Talking Now.
Oh, that was a third one?
Yeah.
Huh. I didn't know there was a third one.
And I like Death Becomes Her. I still watch that one. I'll still watch Death Becomes Her and Hudson Hawk whenever those pop up.
Steve Martin and
no, Death Becomes Her was Bruce Willis.
Oh, what am I thinking of? The Steve Martin and was it Lily Tomlin?
I don't even know who that is, bro.
If you
don't know who Lily Tomlin? Wow.
You need to look her up. She was funny as crap.
She is funny as hell.
They did a movie called All of Me.
All of Me. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't recognize
the Lily Tomlin character died and possessed Steve Martin.
Oh, okay. I probably did watch that then.
Yeah, it was a funny movie. I mean, it ain't gonna have you cracking up on the floor or something like that, but it was.
And I liked Roxanne when he did Roxanne. I mean, I think he was one of my favorite 80s guys. Even probably longer than that, because one of my absolute favorite movies he was in was the one he did with Rick Moranis, where he did My Blue Heaven. I love that movie.
Yeah, that is literally one of my favorite movies, My Blue Heaven. And the only reason I even say that is because Steve Martin playing a gangster, I never doubted him again after that movie. I was like, dude, you played that part.
Yeah, he was a perfect wise guy. He was a perfect wise guy in that movie. It was fun. It was fun.
My Blue Heaven, boy, I'm gonna have to take a day.
There were so many good movies, man. And there were movies that you could watch with your family, or there were movies that you could let your kid watch and you wouldn't worry too much. The worst your kid's gonna do is see a few boobies, right? But other than that, it's just gonna be fun. Like John Candy movies. Oh, those were so much fun. You know, it was a good era for entertainment.
John Candy. Who was always with John Candy? It was Throw Mama from the Train.
He did a couple different movies with different people. I like the one was it the Great Outdoors, I think it was called, something like that. Or he did Uncle Buck.
Speaking of a shocker, and he actually had his own cartoon.
Yeah, Camp Candy. Yep. Yep, I enjoyed that.
All right. Let's get on up out of here. Get ready for the week. Anna, tell everybody where they can find you.
You can find me at burleyetc.com.
This.
You can find me hanging out with these two wonderful people on the weekend right here. That's where you're going to find me.
All right, everybody. We will see you next weekend. So without further ado, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, non-conforming individuals, and of course,
I'm assuming you're legitimate club.
I appreciate Anna. I appreciate Diz. And until next time, we will see you when we see you. Peace.
It was now I can't even say them. But anyway, they were two good movies. Summer Rental and Little Shop of Horrors. There you go.
Little Shop of Horrors, yeah. That was
And
one of
Brewster's
the
Million.
musicals I saw, right?
Yeah.
Okay.